The government admits it's still weighing up the introduction of special economic zones, where laws could be bypassed to push through developments like coal mines and salmon farms. Officials told the government not to proceed with the zones because they would undermine both environmental safeguards and the social licence of already controversial projects. And critics say it's outrageous senior cabinet ministers are even contemplating suspending New Zealand law. Political reporter Benedict Collins has more.
Special economic zones could speed up investments and developments by overriding existing rules. The zones would have what officials call regulatory benefits that would streamline consenting, access to Crown land and resources, using the Public Works Act and potentially even immigration settings. Last year, the government asked Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment officials to investigate the merits of the zones. In March, they reported back, saying feedback from stakeholders was that the existing rules were adequate and the zones could undermine environmental regulations and exacerbate tensions surrounding controversial projects. They advised the Economic Development Minister, Simon Bridges, not to proceed. But Mr Bridges says he's still weighing it up.
Oh, yeah, I think we still talk about it. Certainly, I think it was advice that they have given, that some of what we're doing we should continue with. There's other parts that aren't worthwhile. That's still something that we discuss as ministers from time to time.
The environmental group Forest and Bird fears laws will be circumvented to push through developments such as coal mines and salmon farms. But Mr Bridges says special economic zones could help an array of projects to get off the ground.
Geothermal, aquaculture, tourism, ICT, and how we might provide bespoke solutions to regions where they have advantages. In relation to coal specifically, look, it's a very fraught issue, and that's because undoubtedly in areas such as the West Coast, it's been a mainstay of their economy. It has provided very strong job numbers and high-paying jobs at that. But of course, what is also true on the other side of that is that there's conservation values that we, as New Zealanders, hold very seriously.
But Forest and Bird's Chief Executive, Kevin Haig, says that gives him no comfort at all. He says it's disturbing that senior ministers are even contemplating setting up special zones when New Zealand laws won't apply.
The scope of law and regulation that the government is proposing to suspend to facilitate these developments is breathtaking. Forest and Bird is particularly concerned about relaxing or suspending environmental protection legislation and regulation, but I think that other New Zealanders might equally be concerned about tax law, immigration law, overseas investment law.
Labour's regional development spokesperson Stuart Nash says the government's determination to proceed and ignore official advice reeks of third-term arrogance.
Look, I'm all for regional economic development, of that there's no doubt. However, we have rules in place for a reason. You don't go breaking the rules. I mean, what sort of message does that send to ordinary, good, hard-working Kiwis if the government's prepared to break the rules? It's just not right.
Simon Bridges couldn't say when the government might make up its mind about whether or not to introduce the special economic zones. From Parliament for Checkpoint, Benedict Collins.